research. You need to find a factory that manufactures in line with what you're looking for. And this can be really important. Quite often people go in with low expectations. They want to import small quantities. They want to put their toe in the water and give the importing game a try. Factories are not set up to manufacture small quantities. It's just a fact of nature. So when you are looking for a factory, it's important to test the information. Find out what is their minimum starting point, how many products are they prepared to manufacture. So typically we would expect that if you were serious about a factory, you would send an inspector to that factory to look at the production line, to look at all their business documentation and make sure everything was in order. There are a lot of factories in China that are manufacturing illegally, that aren't licensed or registered, and this becomes more complicated later when you do have a quality issue. You have no recourse to go back. So you wouldn't immediately order your products. You would actually sample and send them instructions or specifications to produce a sample. And you would check that sample. Quite often we call it pre-production sample. So you would have that sample sent back to you in Australia. You would check it, test it, look at it, make sure it functions. If it's the case that you need to conduct a few further tests or ongoing tests, you would do all of that. If it comes up to spec, then you place the order. So you would never contemplate going to China to directly import with a manufacturer there if you weren't making a significant margin. Second of all, when you're setting up a new business in China, you need to appreciate and understand that you are setting up a new business. And whenever we set up a new business, there will always be costs. Sales agents are motivated by commission and they need to get orders. And so they're very keen to take your order. Quite often they don't know which factory they're actually going to source from prior to taking your order, or even in some cases confirming your order. So once they gain your interest, they will then try and find the factory. You will never know who that factory is. As soon as that order is complete, or as soon as that money has been received in their bank, that's where their involvement tends to end. So typically you'll find that if there is a problem or an issue with the products once they arrive in Australia, that agent is no longer interested. Many importers don't communicate clearly what they want. So they'll start with an idea of what they want, and then they'll communicate through email and on Skype and via the telephone. And over time they will change their specification instruction to the factory. They expect the factory, in fact, to collect all of those emails and those changes and the change requests and all of that ongoing information that they're continuously feeding to the factory. They expect the factory to collect all of that and make sense of it. Factories do make mistakes, and they can be human error mistakes, or you may not have communicated something clear to the factory. You want to get that problem rectified in China before the goods leave China, because it's much cheaper, it's quicker, it's easier. Once those goods are in Australia, you've already paid tax and a tariff plus your freight fee, and your customers may well be waiting for those products. It becomes very difficult and expensive at that stage to fix problems.